Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here from Canadian Card Pickers, and today we're going to go over the top 10 most expensive cards sold on eBay from January of this year. I did a video with December, and I'm just going to kind of keep this going along. I think it's fun, especially, as card collectors, to kind of see what the big ticket items are and stuff like that. So let's jump into it. Let's do this. So the number 10 spot is a 2021 Bowman Marcelo platinum foil being 1 out of 1. So this is the only one of this card. I'm sure you guys know that, but just in case you don't, this is a first edition card for him. So that means that this is his first Bowman card. So it's extremely valuable. In some cases, this might even be their first card completely, depending on when they debut, when they get slotted in. Do they make it into pro debut first? Who knows? But this one sold for $8,175 US. So pretty hefty for a 1 of 1, but that's the thing, right? Marcelo Meyer, first round draft pick. I think he was even the first pick, if I'm not mistaken. So just all around, just a really powerful player, and a lot of people are expecting a lot from him. Looking at his numbers from, high school, which aren't necessarily indicative of anything in the pros per se, because it all changes. But, he was batting almost 400. His OPS was 1.4. He definitely slayed it in high school. So, we'll just have to wait to see, see what he throws out there in the pro leagues. But this isn't graded, so this is raw. So that actually does suggest that this price could be a lot more if it were to be in like pristine, immaculate condition. Like if this was a PSA 10, I'm sure this would be $15,000, right? Grading and slabbing and maintaining the card does increase the price quite a bit. But the thing about 1 of 1s, it's basically an agreement between whoever's buying and whoever's selling, right? It's hard to have a historical price or, be like, well, this one, someone sold the same card for this much. It doesn't really work that way, right? So, it's basically going to be what the buyer's willing to offer and what the seller is willing to sell it for, right? And I guess that is the fundamental of everything, but it's a lot more concrete in this, right? Like the buyer is like, hey, I'm willing to pay you $7,000, and the seller might be like, would you do like 8,500? And then then they're going to haggle a lot more, and because they just don't have a history for this card to go off of, right? So yeah, it's interesting to see this up there. There's actually another prospect as well that's up here in high price. There's a lot of people really banking on these prospect players, so it'll be interesting to see if it pans out for them. Coming in at number 9, we're going to see a lot of these old school cards every month, but this is a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle. This would be a rookie card for him. As you can see, really bad condition, but this is, it's graded at an SGC 1, but some people just like to slab to just keep it protected. But this one sold for $8,200, so still worth quite a bit, especially a lot of these old rookie cards and that kind of thing. They still retain a lot of value, even if bad condition, because they're so rare, Nowadays, even if you're young, a lot of people are collecting for investment, and a lot of these cards, it wasn't like that. There wasn't a market of like investment and resale and long-term growth. It was like, oh, I got this Mickey Mantle card, heck yeah. And then they put it into their like bike spokes, right? So it would go vroom vroom. So, it's really hard to find a lot of these cards. When you compare that to something like, say, MetaZoo, I know it's not baseball, but MetaZoo is highly collector based. There's a lot less people, I think, playing it compared to people collecting it. So, definitely when it comes to these older cards, even if they're in really bad condition, as you can see here, a lot of staining, things like that. Although the color is still really good on it. It hasn't really faded. So, it's been kept out of the sun and stuff like that. It still goes for quite a lot. So yeah, this one sold for $8,200 US, and again graded at SGC 1. So this is a Mickey Mantle Bowman rookie compared to the 1952 Topps rookie that many of us are familiar with. Coming in at number 8, this one, we sort of had something similar last video. We did have a Goudet Babe Ruth, but it wasn't this one. This one isn't as common, potentially. I'm not quite sure about a lot of these vintage cards, but this is a 1933 Goudet Babe Ruth, and this is number 149. His other one was like 180 something or 170 something that we had, and it was a little bit higher up on the list, but prices, right? It's all based on that. But this one is kind of cool. Instead, it's got like a red background to it and that kind of thing. This one sold for $8,400 US, and it is graded by Beckett at BGS 2. So again, a lot of these older cards are so rare that it doesn't matter the condition they're in. And you'll see there's a couple towards the end where you're like, how the heck would anyone want that? So, it's just cool though. One day, I would love to have a Babe Ruth card. I think that would be very cool. Or even a Mickey Mantle, maybe I'll get there in the future. But for now, we got to stick with boxes and singles of current stuff. Moving on to the next one. This is what I was talking about. This is a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle. This is the same as the other one. But, if we go back real quick, this is graded by SGC, and SGC not quite as valued as PSA, so I think that's why this one gets a few extra bucks in there, just because it costs a little more to grade, potentially. But this is, again, a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card. This one sold at $8,500, and it's a PSA 1, but as you can see, it's been folded in half, and like both ways or creased. So like this one's quality is significantly worse. So if I was potentially buying, I would 100% go for this one. Like saving $300 and it looks 100 better. This one is even a little more faded in color, so I think, you get what you can find, but whoever got that, the other one, the SGC graded, got a way better deal, I think. The card looks so much nicer. Even though it's got the staining, at least it's like a crisp image. There's no major creasing, So the staining sucks, but it still looks good. Coming up at number 6, this is a cool one. I hadn't seen something like this. This is a very old card. This is a 1919 Babe Ruth card. This is from his first year, I believe, as a Yankee. And this is this is the old school, very old drawing style kind of one, and probably would have come from like I'm not sure the W514. I know the the T206 or whatever, like that style, but this one sold for around 9,000, a little under that. That's what it was listed at, and someone offered. It's I don't know why I didn't. Oh no, yeah, it's not graded, but it is authenticated. So it is an authentic card. I don't believe it is graded though. I don't think that number 2 is any kind of grade. But yeah, so this is a very cool card to see. Very old. He's wearing lipstick, but this one's hand cut. So I don't know if that comes from a time where, each card was individually hand cut. They didn't have like a manufacturing process, or if this means that someone trimmed it or something. But regardless, this is an authentic card, and it's one of the first ones of Babe Ruth. I think this is like his, I can't remember when he started his professional career, but definitely a good looking card. Like the condition is pretty solid for it, and overall, not a bad grab if you're a Babe Ruth fan getting one of his first cards. After that, this is the other prospect I was talking about. This is a 2021 Jasson Dominguez Superfractor 1 out of 1. It's an autograph as well, so that jumps the price up a little more. He's a Yankees prospect. Sold price a little under 9,000, so the kind of about the same as the other one. I can't say exactly what the price is. This one isn't graded. So I'm assuming whoever bought this is probably sending it off to PSA right now to get it graded and slabbed. because you want to keep it protected, right? You know, a magnetic one touch still can have some wiggle room. So, but overall, I've heard a lot of people talking about Jasson Dominguez. I haven't really looked at his stats or really seen what he's at. Let's see if this image has some details. It doesn't. It just says you got a 1/1 Superfractor autograph. So, but yeah, a lot of people talking about him. Hopefully, you know, it pays off. It's insane looking at the like what the import charges buying something like this would be. It'd be like $500 if I wanted to buy this just on top. So pretty wild. But yeah, not a bad card. I myself have an Alec Thomas 1/1 not autographed. I think it was pro debut, not Bowman. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, keep in mind too, this isn't a Bowman first. This is, I think, just standard Bowman. So if this had been a first, it would probably be worth quite a bit more. But yeah, not too bad. Next up, we saw this same card last video in the December pricing, and it was graded differently though. I think it was an SGC. I think I could be wrong on that, but again, this is a 1993 short print of Derek Jeter, and it's a foil, and of course it's a rookie card for him, I believe. And this is a PSA 9, so really good, really good quality. It's Upper Deck, so that's one thing to keep in mind. You know, this is back when Upper Deck was still in the baseball game before they kind of obliterated themselves out of it. And this one sold for $9,500 US. So a lot of people love Derek Jeter. He didn't get caught up in a lot of the juicing stuff compared to, say, A-Rod and some other people that were playing around the same time. As far as I know, I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember hearing a lot about him. You know, he kind of maintained a, like, legit player status as far as I know, and I think that's why he's so beloved. But, you know, of course, he's a Yankee, too, and people are pretty passionate about, you know, Yankee alums and that kind of thing. So it's a good-looking card, too, though. So, you know, I don't judge people for going for it. Next up, this one we saw as well in the previous video. I think there's going to be a lot of redundancy when it comes to certain cards because they're, you know, high demand. One thing to keep in mind too, you'll see the Probstein 123. That's the person who I think is doing the consignment, so they're helping sell this on behalf of people. But yeah, it's a 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson rookie card. This one sold for $12,000, and it's graded PSA 3, so it's not the greatest condition, the corners, of course, but, you know, 70-plus years, it's hard to keep something in good condition unless you have that in your head to actually keep it in good condition for a long time, right? Back in the day, it more was like, oh, collecting them. You didn't think about, you know, someone's going to pay $12,000 for a card you got for, you know, a cent. So... But yeah, you know, good looking card. I just recently rewatched 42. If you haven't watched that movie, it's amazing. You know, because Jackie Robinson, of course, it was his birthday recently. And yeah, just absolutely stellar player. The guy went through so much, just such a good role model, you know, helping break the barrier and everything. Number 2, we have 1951 Bowman Willie Mays rookie card. This is someone that my dad grew up watching in baseball, but this is sold for just a little under $23,000. This was like a buy it now, I believe, and someone offered, and the seller took it. But this is graded PSA 7, so really good condition. Of course, as you can probably see just looking at it, there's some centering issues, you know, especially at the bottom. You know, it's shifted that way, so that does impact the quality. You know, the cut isn't the greatest. But, yeah, Willie Mays, another really important player. You know, we're talking the 1951 crew, so he would have been playing with Mickey Mantle and the like. So this is a rookie card for him. And, you know, it's good condition, looks really good. And, yeah, overall, I don't think it's a, you know, bad investment. I feel like I'd rather have smushy corners than centering issues when it comes to a card. Just because it's, I think, a lot more obvious that is like shifted over. So I don't know about myself. I don't know about you guys. Would you go for something that's off-centered or doesn't have sharp corners? Let me know your thoughts. Because I'm more of I'd rather have bad corners than off-center, just from an aesthetic point of view. But yeah, Willie May is such an important player, throughout the years that he was active. So yeah. And finally, of course, we're going to see this card. Why wouldn't we? We have a 1952 Mickey Mantle rookie card from Topps. This is just the titular Mickey Mantle card. This one sold for $30,000, 800 US, or $30,800. Graded PSA 1.5. So it's, I think, like fair condition, they call that. As you can see, like, the surface isn't the greatest. It probably was like in a wallet or something, and a little bit of, you kind of know when stuff sticks together and you peel it and it kind of takes a little bit off of the front. Its centering's not the greatest, corners not sharp at all, but very cool card. One of the things that you can also expect to see in the 2022 Series 1 Topps is a throwback to this card, because it's been 70 years. So as part of their 70 years of Topps stuff, they're doing some Mickey Mantle, like, reprints of these, and but they're going to be like short prints, so they're going to be really important to look out for if you can get yourself one of those short prints. But Mickey Mantle is just so important to the entire everything. So of course, he ends up being number 1 this time. There was a couple before that were a little higher, and for some reason, just as an addendum, there was a card listed, and it has to be like money laundering or something, but it was a 1982 Donruss, like Reggie Jackson card, but it was listed at like 1.141 million Canadian, and I don't understand. I don't understand what's up with this. It doesn't make sense. I didn't include it because to be frank, it's stupid, and I don't understand what it is. It's and also a lot of the time, some of the, like, it says set break Hall of Fame Reggie Jackson, so I don't understand with this. But basically, this is one of those sellers that sometimes their stuff is like, I don't know. I don't understand. All I can think is money laundering or something, or something like that. But yeah. Basically, I didn't include that because it didn't seem like a legitimate price. But is what it is. But yeah, so overall, those are the top 10 baseball cards that sold in January, the most expensive ones. What do you think? Do you think any of these cards is not deserving of, the value people are giving it? Let me know in the comments, but that just kind of gives you an idea of the space right now. Again, these are the most expensive on eBay. There's going to be stuff sold in auction houses and stuff like that, but that can sometimes be really hard to find that info. eBay is just very simple, and I think it's, to me, it doesn't make sense to show cards that are selling for 3.4 million. Like, it's cool, but in some ways that's super not oh, okay, cool, great, but none of us are ever going to be able to even think about that card. So I try to go for the cards that are, that are more like us selling. Any one of you could inherit, an estate or something, and as you go through it in the attic, you find a book of cards, right? And you might have a Mickey Mantle card, right? Like, that's the whole thing, is a lot of these cards, some of us might find, a T206 Honus Wagner might not be as likely to find that, but, a 1952 Mickey Mantle, there's quite a decent chunk of those. It's not that it's necessarily rare, it's just rare to find it not destroyed. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it and you like to see these kind of videos, let me know. Make sure to like the video to show the support. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can catch more content. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, your night, or your morning, and we'll see you in the next video.